I'm gonna start on the onion, okay?
All right.
Hi, my name is Chantel, and I'm really in need of some recipe inspo.
What size onions do you want?
I'm a busy psychological associate, but in my downtime, I love to cook with my amazing husband, Taras.
I need to get a palm.
Get out there.
However, it's really hard to find the time due to my busy schedule. Taras and I have been together for 10 years, and we've been married since 2023. Some days can be harder than others due to Taras's multiple sclerosis, but the kitchen is really our happy place where we can unwind, reconnect, and spend time together.
We're huge fans of the show and we love the dishes Mary makes.
So we'd love for Mary to be able to teach us an easy, romantic dinner that would be perfect for our date nights together.
I love it. Please welcome Chantal and Taras to the show. Okay, first off, absolutely beautiful wedding photos.
Thank you.
So you got married a couple years ago.
Yes.
Very exciting. And you're celebrating your 10th anniversary together this year.
Yes, end of the year.
End of the year. Very exciting. So what do you typically do on a date night? Do you dine in, dine out? What's your kind of vibe?
Mix it up.
Mix it up. Oh, that's a good answer, Taras. That's always a good one. I'm feeling really excited today because you actually shared with us a few different foods that you like to eat when you're celebrating something. I know you talked about Thai food a little bit, but you also told us about your wedding meal.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be fun today to recreate your wedding meal so you could make it at home and celebrate anytime. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna get to work. You two get comfy, have a sip of wine. It's gonna be a good thing. So we're gonna make an apple cider chicken with a rosemary peppercorn sauce, right? Now, y'all told me, nice, they're already into the wine, excellent. Y'all told me that you had at your wedding a cider marinated chicken.
Yes.
With like a rosemary peppercorn sauce on the side.
Yeah.
And then roasted vegetables, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I decided let's kind of do all that, but kind of in one pan because date night is always better when there's less dishes to do. Am I right?
Yes,
Okay,
very
cool.
much.
I'm gonna get to work on this recipe though. So over here, we have got our potatoes that we've cooked off. So I wanna do a little bit of roasted potato with the chicken. So I cook these potatoes off, just a bag of baby potatoes, in boiling salted water. I start them in cold water, bring them up to the boil, and let them go for about 10 to 12 minutes just until fork tender. Then I let them steam dry in a colander. I'm gonna re-add those into my pot and go on with some oil, as well as a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, I always like to parboil my potatoes before I roast them in the oven, because essentially what that's gonna do is ensure you have a well-cooked potato on the inside, but then all the oven's trying to do is make things golden brown, which is always a good thing. So a little bit of pepper on there as well. And then just to mimic the flavor we're gonna have going on in the chicken, I'm gonna go in with just a sprig of rosemary. If you do not have your own fresh rosemary plant, that's fine. You can use the little packet you get at the grocery store, that'll be perfect. All right, I'm gonna give this a toss. And by tossing these together, essentially what's happening is I'm kind of like coaxing the starch out of the potatoes to kind of give them a little bit of a coating. That's gonna help them get a little bit crispy in the oven. If you've watched the show, you've seen me do it before. So that's always a good thing. All right, give that a nice mix to combine. Then I'm gonna move on to the star of the show. We're talking that chicken. So I've got a pan here, and any good chicken dish starts with a little bit of bacon. Am I right? Yeah, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it.
Yes.
So in this pan, I have 4 strips of bacon. I diced those up, and I started them in a cold pan. Then I brought that temperature up to medium. That gives you a really nice, crispy, golden brown bacon, but leaves you with a ton of that beautiful bacon fat to cook with, so you don't have to add additional kind of oil or butter into here if you don't want to. You always can if you want to, because I'm never mad at a little more butter, but you know, we got bacon fat to work with today. So I've scooped out most of the bacon, and now we're gonna move on to our chicken. So when y'all are buying chicken, how do you typically buy it? Like, are you boneless, skinless? Are you chicken breast, chicken thighs?
Usually chicken breast.
Okay, oh, uh-oh, I'm doing chicken thighs.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. We don't mind thighs.
Listen, it's a special occasion.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic. Know what I like about chicken thighs? I feel like each person you want to serve 2. So if it's a little celebratory, you've got a couple there. I'm using bone-in, skin on. You could do this with chicken breasts as well. It would just take a little longer in the oven. That would be beautiful as well. Skin on, bone-in is my favorite, but if you wanted to do boneless, skinless, that would work. It would just cook quicker. So onto here, I'm gonna season those up with some salt, as well as a little bit of pepper. And then this is a little bit of a left turn. We're gonna go on to here with a little bit of smoked paprika. Do you like a smoked paprika?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I always call it the bacon of the spice cupboard because it's smoky and delicious. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna go on with about half a teaspoon of smoked paprika just to bring a little smokiness onto that chicken as well. And then just to coat this chicken and to kind of encourage it to go more golden brown and help build a sauce in that pan, I'm gonna go on with 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just gonna scatter that right on top. I'm not gonna lie, when I was first testing this recipe at home, I used a 1/4 cup of flour. Too much flour. And I hate throwing out flour, but when it's touched raw chicken, you have to throw it out. So 2 tablespoons is perfect. So I'm gonna go in with that. And then I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a toss around just to lightly coat. You don't really need to coat the underside because that's gonna kind of cook in the oven, but it does just help kind of even out the flour and let everything kind of get all around there. This is gonna do a couple things. It's gonna build like a little bit of a crust, almost like a fried chicken crust on there, but it's also gonna give a little bit of flour into the pan, almost making a roux, so it'll thicken up our sauce later. So let's head on over to our pan. We've got that beautiful bacon fat still nice and hot. I'm gonna go in with my chicken thighs skin side down. You wanna hear a little bit of a sizzle going. These are gonna need, I would say, anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. But at this point, you're not looking to cook the chicken all the way through. Sometimes I find if I'm trying to sear chicken and then cook it all the way through on the stove, I end up burning the outside just to make sure the inside gets cooked through. That's why we're gonna use the handy dandy oven, date night's best friend, because she's gonna do all the work while I'm having a romantic dinner with my hubby. Always a good thing. All right, pop those in. Those are gonna get nice and seared and golden brown, and we don't have to worry about flipping them over and cooking the other side. That's gonna cook in the oven. Right now, we're just looking for golden brown on that skin side. So while those do their thing, let's get to work on some shallots over here. So I've got 2 shallots. Do you typically have shallots, or are you like a white onion family, a red onion family?
White, yellow.
Nice, like
or
the
red.
bag?
Sometimes,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But usually the yellow bag.
I love the yellow bag. The fishnet bag of onions is the only way I buy onions. Reasonably priced, super nice size, really, really fantastic. If you were using those onions, I'd probably use 1 to 1.5. Okay. They would be beautiful as well. They'll cook down a little bit longer, but they'll still be nice and sweet. I am using those shallots because they kind of taste like a garlicky onion. Really tasty, super lovely. So I'm just gonna thinly slice these shallots as well as 2 cloves of garlic, and then I'm gonna chop up about a tablespoon of rosemary. I've got this chicken that's been searing up for about, I'd say 6 minutes now. We're just searing the first side because we want that nice golden brown color. So let's take a peek. Oh yeah, that is what you're looking for. Just so you guys can see, nice and golden brown, fantastic.
Very
I'm gonna set this aside now, but as you can see on the bottom of the pan here, we've got this beautiful fond, also known as kind of like the stucky-on bits that stick to the bottom of the pan. There's tons of flavor in there. There's also a little bit of flour because we dusted the chicken in the flour, so that's gonna help us thicken up our sauce. So this is looking fantastic. So I'm just gonna set the chicken aside, and it's okay that it's not cooked all the way through because we're gonna finish it in the oven. But into this beautiful pan that has bacon fat and chicken schmaltz and everything delicious, we're gonna add in our shallots. So before the break, we chopped up our shallots. So I've got 2 here. Again, if you don't have shallots, you could always use an onion, just a white onion, a yellow onion, a red onion, whatever you got hanging around. And I'm gonna go in with those shallots. Now, the thing that I love about a shallot in particular is they only take about a minute or 2 to cook down. If you were using an onion, I'd probably go for another minute or 2 after that, just to make sure they cook down nicely. But as soon as they hit the heat, you smell that beautiful smell. Yeah. It starts almost deglazing the bottom of the pan too, because there's a good amount of moisture in those shallots. It kind of shakes some of that golden brown stuff off the bottom of the pan. So we give it a stir. We want those to go for just about a minute or 2, and then we add in our other flavor boosters. I'm going in with 2 cloves of garlic that I thinly sliced, as well as about a tablespoon of rosemary that I chopped up here. Now, if you don't want rosemary, you could do sage. That would be beautiful. Thyme would be really nice as well. Any sort of good woody herb would be really nice here. But you guys had like a rosemary peppercorn sauce with your wedding?
Yeah.
So we got to do rosemary today. Absolute dream. You got to keep it like on theme.
Yeah.
All right. My husband Aaron and I we got married at a restaurant. It makes our anniversary date very easy because we just go to that same restaurant. Yeah. And we sit in the booth where we signed our little love contract. It's kind of nice. Oh. It's a good thing. All right. So give that a bit of a stir. That only needs about 30 seconds to a minute just to start cooking off that garlic and that rosemary. Then we're gonna start building the sauce because we're actually gonna almost braise this chicken in the sauce. So into there, we're gonna deglaze the pan with about a cup of apple cider. And I'm just using regular apple cider. You could use hard apple cider if you wanted to, but the sweetness and thickness of regular apple cider is absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna go in with about a cup of that. Pop that on in. And again, this is gonna help kind of deglaze that pan. When you add it in, give it a little bit of a scrape, and you see the bottom of the pan coming clean. There's a couple reasons I love deglazing. First off, the bottom of the pan, there's tons of flavor there. You want that in the sauce. Second, it makes cleanup easier.
Yeah.
Which again, if your husband's the one doing the dishes, I'm doing you a favor, which I absolutely love. All right, give that a nice stir. Then once that comes up to a bit of a simmer, we've already got one going, I'm gonna go in with some cream. We're using whipping cream today. The reason I use whipping cream is the higher the fat percentage, the less likely it's gonna split and give you kind of like a grainy sauce. If you use coffee cream, it could split. You can do it, it just might not be as smooth and creamy as you want it. I'm gonna go in with about half a cup of that whipping cream. Just pour that on through. This is one of my favorite looks. This like, kind of like, ooh, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right? Ooh, okay. All right, that's looking beautiful and creamy and delicious. We're gonna bump this up a little bit though with some mustard. I'm using about a tablespoon of a grainy Dijon. If you only had a stone ground or a smooth Dijon, that would work as well, but this gives you those little pops of flavor. And then last but not least, we need to add in our peppercorns. So for the peppercorns, since it was a peppercorn sauce, typically for a peppercorn sauce, you use green peppercorns, but those ones you have to buy in like a little jar or a little tin. I don't have them, but I do have regular peppercorns. So I've got some here that I've just busted up in a pestle and mortar because you want them to be a little bit chunky. That's gonna give you like hits of that pepper. Yeah. Really tasty. This is also a great thing to put on steak because it gives you that kind of steak spice vibe. Ugh, dream. Charles and I are gonna talk later about steak. Okay, I'm gonna go in with about half a teaspoon of that pepper just to hold back. You can go with a little bit more if you want. Give that a stir through. Then I'm gonna re-add that bacon. That's gonna get nice and tender, stay a little bit crisp and golden. And then we're gonna nestle that chicken back into the pan. But you wanna do it this time skin side up so you can kind of maintain that beautiful, crispy skin that, if you can hear it, nice and crispy.
Very.
Pop that in. And this is braising. So when you're braising something, you don't actually want to cover it fully in liquid because that would mean you're more boiling it. Yeah. By braising it, you put it in a little bit of liquid and kind of let that steam heat it as well. So I'm going to pop that into my oven. I've got my oven heated to 375 degrees. This goes onto the center rack in your oven. Now, did you think I forgot about those potatoes? Because I didn't. Never gonna forget about a potato. So the chicken goes onto the second rack, or the middle rack. Then on the lower rack, I have a pan heating in the oven. That's come up to that 375, and I'm gonna go on with those potatoes. You can add a little more oil if you want, but you don't need to. But you're gonna go on, you hear that little bit of a sizzle? That's gonna give you that golden brown color. Those potatoes and that chicken need to go back in the oven for just about 25 to 30 minutes. They're gonna come out at the same time, looking absolutely beautiful. I almost forgot about the chicken. I was too excited about the potatoes. And you get something that looks like this. Like, come on, get out of here. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
I'm feeling pumped about it. Okay, let's give this a little bit of a serve. Now, to serve this up, we have got some of those beautiful crispy potatoes that come out. They're golden brown. You've got that rosemary on there as well. Serve those up right onto the plate. I also made some roasted carrots because I felt like everybody needs a vegetable.
Yeah.
I saw in that little video you were adding handfuls of greens in.
Yeah.
That's my type of girl. Love that energy.
Try our best.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on with some of those beautiful roasted carrots as well. You could even just do wilted greens on here. A little salad on the side would be beautiful. But the carrots would roast in around the same amount of time, so you could pop them onto the pan as well. Then on goes that beautiful tender chicken. Pop that down. And then last but not least, you cannot forget about the sauce. You know me, I'm a sauce girl.
We need the sauce.
You can't not. So you get that creamy, beautiful sauce with that wonderful, that garlic in there as well. Maybe do a little pool. You can do a little bit on top. All right, I'm gonna go ladies first.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, I would recommend, I am a professional TV eater, so I would recommend trying the potato with the sauce because I'm not gonna lie, cutting chicken with a bone in it on TV is really hard to do.
Not fun.
All right.
Not fun.
Okay, do you wanna give it a taste?
Of course.
Do it.
Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, cool. I'm hearing wedding bells from the past. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Not bad, eh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Chantal and Taras, thank you so much for doing this with us today. I hope you had a
so
good
much.
day.
Thank
Had a
you.
great time.
I mean, what a weird, fun breakfast. 10 a.m. chicken.
I know.
It's
Doesn't
an
get better.
absolute dream. I know. Listen, we hope you both have the best Valentine's Day, but we also wanted to help you celebrate your 10th anniversary. So thanks to our friends at St. Anne Spa. You're getting an all-inclusive 2-night stay for two, including breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, facilities and $150 spa and wellness credit.
Whoa.
Yes! Enjoy your Valentine's Day and happy anniversary. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.